A split has been festering in Israel's war cabinet, and now it has burst out into the open. Defense Minister Yoav Gallant has challenged the Prime Minister Netanyahu to come up with a post-war plan for Gaza. Listen to this.
Since October, I've been raising this issue consistently in the cabinet and have received no response. The end of the military campaign must come together with political action. The day after Hamas will only be achieved with Palestinian entities taking control of Gaza, accomplished by international actors, establishing a governing alternative to Hamas rule. This, above all, is in interest of the state of Israel.
You heard that. A frustrated Gallant is complaining that he has been consistently raising this issue, but there has been no resolution. Gallant also made it clear that he will not permit any solution where Israeli military is deployed in Gaza. Listen to this now.
Unfortunately, this issue was not raised for debate, and worse, an alternative was not raised in its replacement. Indecision is in essence a decision. This leads to a dangerous course, which promotes the idea of Israeli military and civilian governance in Gaza. This is a negative and dangerous option for the state of Israel, strategically, militarily, and from a security standpoint.
Indecision is a decision. Those are Gallant's words. And his comments were immediately backed by his fellow minister Benny Gantz. Gantz said that Gallant had only spoken the truths, and with that, the Israeli leadership has plunged into a highly public row. How is Bibi taking this, you ask? Not well. He is furious. He is pushing back. Listen to what he said.
Eliminating Hamas is an essential step in order to ensure that on the day after, there will be no element in Gaza that can threaten us. Until it is clear that Hamas does not control Gaza militarily, nobody will be prepared to take upon himself the civil management of Gaza out of fear for their lives. Therefore, all the talk about the day after, while Hamas remains intact, will remain mere words, devoid of content. Contrary to what is being claimed, for months we have been engaged in various efforts to resolve this complex problem. Some of the efforts are covert, and it is good that this is so. This is one of the objectives of the war that we have defined, and we are determined to achieve it as well.
You see, it's a war of words. Gallant says his concerns have not been addressed, but Netanyahu has countered him, claiming that he has been trying to find a solution for months. If that's the case, why hasn't he come up with a plan yet? For days, the Biden administration has been pressuring Israel to plan for post-war Gaza. But Netanyahu has delivered his response. Not so fast. You just heard it for yourself. He has argued that it would be just chatter while Hamas remains intact. Netanyahu does not seem to be listening to Biden's officials. What would this lead to? While US support for Israel seems ironclad, will it end up abandoning Netanyahu? Because the other ministers seem to be more than happy to do America's bidding. The leaders are split on the fate of this war, and the split is getting wider day after day, by the way. Some want to prioritize the return of hostages. Others, like Netanyahu, want to press on with total annihilation of Hamas. They are not ready to accept the ceasefire deal brokered by Qatar and Egypt. Gallant's comments have only added fuel to the row. The Security Minister, Itamar Ben-Gvir, has in fact called for Gallant to be removed. He said that Gallant failed on October 7 and continues to fail even now. And such a defense minister must be replaced in order to achieve the war goals. But can Netanyahu really afford to do that? You see, the last time he fired Gallant, it did not go down well with Israelis. There were protests, there was agitation to the extent that Netanyahu had to go back on his decision. So what gives? The government seems too occupied with its own conflicts. How will it handle what's happening outside? Hamas has its own set of demands. It says a post-war plan that does not include the group will be opposed. It wants to be involved in deciding post-war rule in Gaza along with other Palestinian factions. But all of that is a discussion for later. The Israeli establishment needs to settle its internal issues first. To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.